The let them theory presents a deceptively simple but profoundly transformative idea. When other people behave in ways you dislike, disagree with, or cannot control, instead of reacting, arguing, chasing, or forcing, you say two words: let them. These two words represent emotional freedom. They represent detachment from unnecessary struggle. They represent reclaiming control over your own life instead of trying to manage everyone else's behavior. At its core, the book argues that much of our stress, resentment, anxiety, and heartbreak does not come from what others do. It comes from our attempt to control, correct, or convince them. We exhaust ourselves trying to make people act differently, understand us, prioritize us, or approve of us. The let them theory flips the focus inward. Instead of asking, how do I make them change, it asks, what happens when I let them be who they are? The first major principle is acceptance of reality. People show you who they are through their actions. When someone ignores you, excludes you, criticizes you, disappoints you, or chooses differently than you hoped, that behavior is data. Instead of fighting the data, let them encourages you to observe it calmly. If they cancel repeatedly, let them. If they do not invite you, let them. If they gossip, let them. If they underestimate you, let them. This is not weakness. It is clarity. The theory does not promote passivity. It promotes emotional discipline. There is a difference between tolerating disrespect and detaching from unnecessary drama. Let them means you stop chasing validation. You stop trying to earn space in rooms where you are not valued. You stop negotiating with people who have already decided how they feel. One of the biggest emotional traps people fall into is the need for approval. We want to be liked, included, admired, and understood. When someone disapproves or distances themselves, it feels threatening. But Robbins argues that other people's opinions are reflections of their own experiences, fears, and limitations. Trying to control those opinions is a losing battle. Let them think what they want. Let them misunderstand. Let them judge. Your peace becomes more important than their perception. Another powerful application of the theory appears in relationships. When someone pulls away, many people react by chasing harder. They text more, call more, explain more, try more. But chasing often creates imbalance. Let them introduces emotional equilibrium. If someone wants distance, let them have it. If someone wants to leave, let them leave. If someone does not prioritize you, let them show that clearly. This allows you to see the relationship for what it truly is instead of what you wish it were. The book emphasizes that control is an illusion in many social situations. You cannot control someone's effort, loyalty, consistency, or love. You can only control your response. By letting people act freely, you gather information. And information leads to better decisions. If they consistently show low effort, you adjust accordingly. If they consistently disrespect boundaries, you create stronger ones. Let them also reduces comparison anxiety. In the age of social media, people constantly measure themselves against others' achievements, lifestyles, and milestones. The theory suggests releasing that comparison. Let them succeed at their pace. Let them travel. Let them post. Let them live differently. Your path is not invalid because it looks different. Detaching from comparison restores focus to personal growth. Another important aspect of the theory is boundaries. Letting someone behave as they choose does not mean you tolerate harmful treatment. It means you stop arguing about who they are. Instead of trying to change them, you change your access. If someone disrespects you, let them. And then decide how close they get to you. Boundaries become quieter but stronger. The book also addresses workplace dynamics. If coworkers gossip, let them. If managers underestimate you, let them. Instead of obsessing over office politics, redirect energy toward competence, preparation, and professionalism. Over time, performance speaks louder than arguments. Emotional energy preserved is power gained. A central theme is emotional economy. Your attention is a limited resource. Every time you obsess over someone's opinion, replay a conversation, or argue internally, you spend energy. Let them conserve that energy. It teaches selective investment. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every disagreement requires resolution. Robbins also explains that people often reveal their priorities through behavior. When someone repeatedly fails to show up, they are communicating priorities. Letting them do so clarifies alignment. You no longer waste time interpreting mixed signals. Actions become the truth. The theory is especially powerful in family relationships. Families often trigger deep emotional reactions because history intensifies expectations. But even here, let them applies. If relatives criticize your choices, let them. If they disagree with your career or lifestyle, let them. You cannot force acceptance. You can maintain respect without surrendering autonomy. Romantic relationships illustrate the principle vividly. When someone loses interest, many people try to revive it through persuasion. But genuine connection cannot be negotiated. Letting someone leave prevents prolonged suffering. It allows space for reciprocal relationships to enter. Let them also applies to parenting in a balanced way. While children require guidance, there comes a time when overcontrol damages trust. Letting them make age-appropriate mistakes builds independence. Growth requires space. Another powerful insight is that emotional maturity involves tolerating discomfort. When you let someone think poorly of you or choose differently, it can feel painful. But growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. Let them strengthens emotional resilience. The book repeatedly returns to a key idea: chasing drains dignity. The more you try to force inclusion or validation, the more anxious you become. Letting go restores composure. Dignity is preserved when you stop pleading for recognition. Robbins reframes rejection as redirection. When someone excludes you, it often creates space for better alignment elsewhere. Letting them choose differently frees you to choose differently too. Let them also improves friendships. When friendships naturally drift, forcing reconnection can feel unnatural. Letting distance happen gracefully respects the evolution of life stages. A subtle but important message in the book is self-respect. Letting others behave freely demonstrates confidence. It signals that your worth does not depend on their approval. The theory reduces overthinking. Instead of analyzing every tone, pause, or delay, you simplify. If they wanted to, they would. If they don't, let them. Another theme is radical responsibility. Once you stop trying to control others, your focus shifts to your own standards. How do you show up? How do you treat people? How do you invest your energy? Letting them puts responsibility back where it belongs, on you. Let them does not mean emotional suppression. It means emotional regulation. You acknowledge feelings without letting them dictate reactive behavior. Over time, practicing this mindset builds inner stability. You become less shaken by external fluctuations. Praise and criticism carry equal weight. Inclusion and exclusion no longer determine self-worth. One of the most freeing aspects of the theory is detachment from outcomes. You can put in effort, express yourself honestly, and show up authentically, but you release attachment to how others respond. Their response belongs to them. The book ultimately teaches that peace is not found in controlling people. It is found in controlling your reactions. Freedom begins when you stop negotiating with reality. In essence, the let them theory is about emotional sovereignty. It is about understanding that other people's behavior is information, not a command. It is about preserving energy for what truly matters. It is about responding instead of reacting. The two words, let them, may sound simple, but they represent a powerful shift from external control to internal strength. When you allow others to be who they are, you finally gain the clarity to decide who you want to be. And that is where real freedom begins.